Good morning to what in effect is day 9 of the pool build. Although today, like I said yesterday in the video, which you may not have seen yet, I've only just uploaded it, is not on today just purely because I was sourcing the tiles. So tiles have been sourced. Hopefully they'll be here this afternoon. So before I start, get me some likes and dislikes down below. I don't have a sample here. The samples came and went. So it's actually 1 in the afternoon, he says. 1:45 in the afternoon even. So I've been down, got the tiles, brought them back, put them on the floor, which I'll show you a picture, and when I upload this video you'll see some pop-ups come up, so you'll see what they look like. So I've just been back and we've ordered the tiles, so it looks like we've managed to find them. So they're a very natural concretey cream colour. They're 24 inch by 24 inch square, so we'll have to cut just under an inch off of this edge, but it means we'll be able to control the whole edge all the way through. Another full tile here, so we'll be able to control the edge here right through. So this little gully here will have about maybe 1.5 inches and controlled nice all the way through. And then what the aim is, I always find that a stupid place to put the reverse button. On the left hand side, bear in mind most people that are filming are right-handed and are going to use the... Anyway, so on here we're going to land up having obviously a full tile here with a bit cut off, a full tile here, and then there'll be a little piece here. So I need to think about what I'm going to do there. Are we going to put another bit of tile in there, or do we do something different? Either way, the LED strip's going to go in here, but we are going to be trimming off about 1 inch of this edge to tidy that edge up all the way around. As you can see, this one here has already been... An attempt to concrete in and tidy up was made, but it looks absolutely shockingly shit. So, as you can see here, we're about 2.5 to 3 inches here, so we're going to have to come right back to the furthest point and cut all the way through. This edge is probably the best edge out of all of them, but it's wonky. So as you can see down here, it sort of does a bit of that and it does a bit of this. So again, we'll be able to put a line on here, and again, it's not as deep. So, and again, we won't have to go all the way down as well. All we need to do is the depth of the actual... the little LED strips that we've got, the gully itself, the track that will go in here, that's all we need to do it by. So probably around about 15 mil. That's all we really need to do. And then it can sit on top of the concrete, and then we can obviously tile adhesive up to that. That's the aim. And really what we should do, the last tile that goes in here, we should wait until the LED strips arrive, install those, and then tile to them. That's what we should do. So, and that's probably what we will do. So anyway, that's going to be sorted, and they're going to be delivered this afternoon. These have dried now. I showed you briefly at the end of the video last night. These have finally dried, and as you can see, the grey has dried, a nice grey actually. Yesterday it looked like a chocolatey sort of cappuccino type colour. So it actually looks like a nice light grey now. And that's gone a real blue, a light blue, but a very, very, very blue. If I knew what I knew now, I'd have gone with a light green in here. Very, very, very light green. I wanted something different. But I tell you what, once that's actually in, it's going to change the look of this whole place and the whole patio area immediately. I mean, the LED lights with the blue is just going to be amazing. So very piercing and very blue. Sherwin has actually got the varnish on the door frame now, so that is now drying, as you can see. It's not dried as flat as we thought it was going to. Still got a bit of a sheen to it. But again, at least it's sealed and it'll stop the fingerprints, and now what he's doing is just physically going around and making all the actual joints that have now settled good, and then we'll get those filled in and sanded and painted. Our man Dion is in the house. Man, oh, heaven has turned up. So, I mean, all of these holes, hopefully they're as straight as possible, so they go in as simple as possible. Never walk under a ladder, he says. Don't believe in that crap. But Dion has arrived, and he is installing manholes. So the manholes themselves, all been made, all been fabricated off site. So the framework's going to go in, same as the one that was around here, if you remember rightly. I might have got that already. That was here. So all of them are going to look like this. They're all going to be very shiny with aluminium brackets. So the actual, the frame will sit in, they'll screw the frame into the concrete, and then that will sit in flush. Now we were at about, if I remember rightly, they did most of them with a 2x4, so you're going to talking 3.5 inches of drop, and these are about 2 inches, so they'll be off the floor by about 1.5 inches, and they'll have to obviously hold them up and drill them in. But that is going to be they'll probably bracket them in. If they haven't got them, we're going to get some clamps for them. All the pool product is arriving. So this is good stuff actually. Laticrete. So yeah, we've got some of the stuff arriving now, so that's all ready to go. Tomorrow's going to be starting with the cutting and prepping, obviously the tiling going down. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I wasn't going to film too much today purely because obviously the pool guys weren't here today because we had the tile to source. Keystone is where we got the tile from. It's worked out around about, I think, it's worked out about £6.5 to £7 a square foot. Typical at the 4 tiles that are available. It was the most expensive one. The others were about £5. But anyway, you know, it's going to look amazing. So it's going to finish that pool edge completely off, and I think it's definitely the right decision to go with. The tile will come to the very edge, and the mosaics will come right up to the very edge, and then he's going to do a grout edge. I thought we were going to put a finishing edge on there, but he suggested that you're better off going with this one because the metal ones over time just tarnish and go a bit off colour, and the plastic ones never look good. So he's talking about doing a grouted edge. So we'll see what that looks like, but he knows what he's doing. And on that note, guys, if anyone wants his details, let me know. Simon from Revo. It's been really good so far. So Dion is laying all of the actual manholes out so we get them all done, and then all be plumped in. Again, Dion's been bloody good as well, so anybody wants his details, anything fabricated wise, manholes, gates, I'm going to be talking to him today about the I might talk to him about at some stage about some doors on here, some aluminium doors on here. This was, by the way, for anyone new watching the video, is where the gas canisters, either the gas box, because they do boxes here that you can actually have gas in, or the gas bottles were going to go on this side, and then on this side it was going to be the actual condensers for the air conditioning. So this pipework here will come up through the floor eventually, so all of the actual pipework will go through the floor and then through the floor of the garage all the way into the basement. That's what is going to happen at some stage, but we do have to consider the affordability of running that gas now, the gas pipes. So we do have an option of potentially putting them here, opening this up and having some louvers, aluminium louvers built in here, and having them housed behind there so they actually come straight out. So they're actually in the basement. That will be a smaller run, and also it means they'll be out of the salt air as well, which means they'll be better, but obviously it's going to mean the basement will get a bit warmer down there. So that's one thing we're going to have to consider. What is the best option and the most cost-effective option? We want to make sure obviously we don't break the bank, but at the same time out here in the salt air, any condensers, which 90% of the time are made out of metal, don't last. So I want to make sure that we put them somewhere they're going to survive, and at the same time isn't going to cost me a fortune in copper running it, in effect, another 40 odd foot. So we'll see. But again, if we go with the central air system, we might be down to like 4 units or 2 units, which means we'd only have 2 here, which means it'd be 2 runs. So it might not be that expensive. So we'll have a look. And also, cobwebs bloody everywhere. Look at the state of this. Fair play to them. They're eating the flies, which I hate, but it's like netting, is that sort of. Anyway, so that one will be done as well. These will all be done down here. And then the pool guys are coming back tomorrow to crack on, cutting the edge. Looking to lay the first set of tiles. I wouldn't know, they're not going to be laying tiles I'm talking about. They're probably going to do the mosaic tiles, so that they can start the plastering at some stage after that. Once the tiles are on, as far as I know, the tiles go on first, and then they'll plaster up. So they're going to plaster the trough first to see what the trough looks like. Trough meaning the water edge trough. And off the back of that, then they'll be able to then come back over, tile the top of the infinity edge, and then they can start the blue of the tile of the actual pool itself. So I think by the end of next week we could be looking to finish up. So depending on whether we actually manage to get the mosaics on the pool now, depends how quick we start plastering the pool, and from plastering the pool it is then the actual the tiling of the top. So again, they've got to be built up a little bit, so there's going to have to be quite a lot of tile compound put in there. So I can see us going through quite a bit of tile compound, but it's definitely the best stuff to use. And we've got some cracks to repair before we do that as well. So it's cutting that outer edge. It's cutting through the actual some of the actual cracks we've got and getting those filled before we actually lay down any form of leveling of the surface that we need. So obviously the first part coming out the pool is going to be quite straight, and then it's going to come up at an angle to meet the actual patio edge and the LED strip. So anyway, I will catch up with you a bit later on throughout the day. It's only 2 o'clock nearly now, so I'll update you as and when I go. If there's any change in the meantime, I'll jump on it. Speak soon. Okay, we're at 4 o'clock. Welcome back. Hope you're all well. Let's have a quick look at how the manholes are getting on. Oh, looks like they're all in. Ding, 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 ding. 1, 2. Okay. So we've got shininess. A little bit of shininess here as well. That one on there, obviously. And the well. That's in as well. This one's in. So we've still got to do down there. As you can see, it's nice and tidy down there. Thanks, showing. That one's got to be put in. The well is in. We've got a big one there. What's that big one for then? A big square. Not too sure what that one's for. Don't think we've got anything that big. We've got that one there. Nice. We've got the one down there done. Obviously this one's got to be done, so, but that's not big and square like that monster over there. Yes, there's nothing in there as yet. And obviously we still got to get the one down here done as well. So that one's going to be a long and thin one as well. So I don't know what that one's for. I don't think we've got anything that big. So anyway, they're most in. So obviously what we'll do is we'll give them a jet wash at some stage, and we'll stain the concrete to make it look a little bit more pleasant. This one's in. Sorry about the wind. That one's in. So we're doing that one. So he's got another little small one. Another long one. Looks like he's gone wrong with the measurements maybe. So that's a small one over there, that's in. Another small one which is there that's going to go in. And a long thin one. Yeah, so it looks like he's got one of the measurements wrong. I think. Yeah, there's nothing else around here. So that square one, that big square one, I think he's got mixed up somewhere. Not too sure where. So it looks like he's too short, isn't he? So he's got this one here that's got to go in, which again is a reasonably, it's a rectangle, isn't it? That one's a rectangle as well. That square's not needed. Yeah, so it looks like he's one short, and he's got one that's incorrect. So he's going to have to re-measure and bring the other one. So there's 2 more to come, one to take back. So yeah, nice to see those in now. Obviously, safer, nicer to look at, nice and safe. And also no more wood rot. We don't want wood rot, do we? Hell no. Sorry about that, close up on my nostril. So, and we've also got the air conditioning man coming as well. So the aircon man is going to come, have a quick measure up. We're thinking about doing the central air system. What I'd like if money was no object, which it always is, I would go with a central system downstairs feeding the front of the house. So the front living area and the kitchen area. I'd have one system powering that, but you're probably going to need a 70,000 BTU system for that. And then I'd have another system, stroke 2 systems powering the back, all of it fed from the floor. That was the original plan. We wanted to split it from 1 unit into at least 2 to 4, so that if there was any issues, then obviously then you'd have air conditioning in some of the rooms. And also on top of that, if the rooms are empty or there's no one in them, there's no point having a 70, 80,000 BTU system running when there's only 1 bedroom being used, for instance. So it just enables you to turn down and just use what you need. Downside to that is the central systems are a lot more expensive, but they're out of the way. It's a floor grill, you don't see anything, there's no split, the split systems go on the walls. You'd have a split system in here, for instance, one little split system up on the wall, they're out of the way, just powering this one room. you would just do that. So it doesn't need to be on all the time. You would just turn it on when you need it and off when you don't. So he's going to come in and measure up and have a quick look. The downside on the island is you don't seem to get the offer of the brands that are available in the world. So if you look at America and the top 10 brands, you're talking about Goodman, Carrier, Ultra Air, I think it's one's called Tran. There's a few that I've never heard of before. Then you've got the Mitsubishis of the world and the LGs, etc. But again, they don't even get into the top 10 for Central. Here, they mention brands I've never heard of before. I mean, there's one I have heard of, York. York's been mentioned. That's in the top 10 of US brands. But other than that, there's nothing I've heard of. So my issue is at the moment, I could get it cheaper if I bought it from the States myself. But if I buy a brand that I know is in the top 10 there, it's good here. But it also means that I've got to find someone that's used to fitting it, which it shouldn't be too hard for them to do. But then if I have an issue and I need parts, then how do I go about getting that? But I'm under the impression everything comes from the US anyway. So whatever brand I go for, I think I'm going to have the same problem. But there will be certain brands that they would stock on the shelf here just in case, because it's probably a popular brand they bring in. But everything is basic. I've been around all the shops. The Dakin supplier on the island, they've got 3 units on the wall that I wouldn't buy. Dakin do some beautiful units. Beautiful. As beautiful you can get is a white box that sits on the wall that cools your room down. But they look pleasant, they're wireless, they're Wi-Fi, you can control them via the app. The ones on their wall just seem to be the real basic models that I wouldn't put in the garage, let alone in the home. So if it's going to go on the wall in the house, I want it to look pleasant. I don't want it to look ugly, obviously. So if I can go central, then that means we're not having anything on the wall, and it does mean that out of sight, out of mind to a certain extent, and we can also turn off what we don't need when we don't need it. So that's what he's going to look at in a minute. So he's going to come around, have a quick look, measure up, give me some prices, and off the back of that, I think I'm going to show him a few videos that I've watched on YouTube of people that have done good installs to see whether he can actually provide and install and maintain those systems. If he can, then it's worth us getting a price on those. But obviously, anyone that's going to supply a unit on the island here is going to quote you for a price to supply after they've bought it and so it's obviously going to be a bit more expensive for those people just purely because they don't have them on the shelf here. So they'll have to import them. But obviously they should be able to have the VAT and the tax a lot more competitive than I can get. So it should be cheaper for them to provide than it is for me. So I would have thought the price should be the same with their profit on it. Bear in mind they'd knock some of the tax stroke VAT off. So anyway, I'm going to see what he says because it's something I definitely want to do. Our living area is a beautiful space during the day and we do use it a lot, but at night when the sun goes down, it turns into quite a very warm environment there. So we tend to sort of go to the bedrooms, which we want to start using the living area because we love it. So I think if we can try and afford to get the front part done first, that means we'll start using the living space a bit more during the evenings. And then next year look at doing the bedrooms. So this lad has recommended a 236 BTU systems for the front. So there'd be one powering the kitchen, one powering the living area, both on the same sort of thermostat. So you better turn on that space on and off when you want it on and off. But you'd have 2 units doing it. So you could have a lower temperature in the kitchen as you could in and a higher one in the living room, for instance, or vice versa. On top of that, if one breaks, then obviously you've still got one to rely on. So they're coming in installed, as far as I'm aware, about 20 to 23,000 Bayesian. So you could probably get 2 split systems in there for about 14. So a lot more expensive, but I think definitely the way forward. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what he says, and I'll ask him if he can get other brands. If he can. They've got all of the brands in anyway. So if you've got all the brands in, why don't they just order a brand that I know and like? On top of that, I have to have a modern tech-connected system. You know, if I'm not here for any reason at all, or I'm renting it for a week or weekend, I would like to manage the system remotely. So it's really important for me to be able to make sure that I can do that. So it has to have some form of connectivity, wireless connectivity, and an app. So there's absolutely no point, but even if I go split systems, there's no point having systems put in if I can't actually dial into them and manage them remotely. I can have them off all day. I could be on the other side of the island on a beach, and I start heading home at about 5 o'clock. 8 o'clock they've been off for 8, 9, 10 hours. I flick it on from where I am. By the time I get in, it's cool, and I'm not walking into a sauna. So there's a number of reasons why I'd like them to be remotely connected. But on top of that, we're also in 2022, so we should have that. No tiles as yet, by the way. It's 4 o'clock. No tiles have arrived as yet, so I'm assuming they're probably going to get picked up tomorrow now. Simon is busy. He's got, I think, 6 pools on the go at the moment, so I think he wanted to pick the tiles up rather than having them delivered. So as a result of that, we're relying on him to get them and can bring them here. So I would have thought he's probably going to get them tomorrow now. So fingers crossed tomorrow. The pool will start by getting the edge done, like I said just a minute ago. Once the edge has been cut, then we can start mapping out where the tiles are going to go and getting those stored. Then it's a case of applying the mosaics, I assume, first. Then once the mosaics have been put on, then it's plaster away. And I'm quite happy with how the plaster turned out. As I said earlier on, I know I'm duplicating. I'm sorry for going over what I've already said, but they're a nice colour. I think that is, as much as I didn't want to go a blue, I think in here it's going to be absolutely amazing. I think it's really going to pop. So yeah, we look forward to seeing that, that's for sure. So I don't know whether they're going to use the grey at the moment. We shall see. Might even actually apply it around here. I mean, this is reasonably ugly, obviously, so might be able to apply all the way along here, and maybe around here and around here, maybe the whole pool area. I don't know. Less is more, as they say. Anyway, another amazing sunset en route as we speak. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. If there's any change, I'll come back, but if not, I will check out, upload tonight, and check in with you guys tomorrow. If I don't check in back again, I will see you bright and breezy tomorrow. Thank you for watching.